If you spent much time on boats, I'm sure you've seen somebody who takes the line, and it's okay to do with this braided, laid line because it actually has a natural twist to it. And you put a little half twist in it, and you wind up with these nice, perfect, beautiful little loops. Okay, that's okay with this. But if you do this and then you try and toss it, you've created coils that can turn to spaghetti. And if you're doing this with modern Spectra and the other braided lines, it's actually bad for the line to put that twist into it, because the twist actually gets built into it, and you're turning your line into a bit of a spring, and then it's going to tangle more and more and more. So, and I learned this. I had a guy who I raced for who he bought new lines just for the heck of it. He had a guy who he called his line pusher. I was hanging out with the line pusher, and I was just like listening to him talk, and I picked up a piece of line. I started doing this with braided line, and one of his staff came over and said, you don't want to do that. And he told me what I'm telling you now. And that's where this dog ear thing comes in again. So we're working almost exclusively with laid line, and so if you like putting the twist in it and you like the way that comes out, I'm not going to yell at you. But I still prefer to lay the line out in your hand like this, especially if you're working with braided line. And if you do this nicely, theoretically, in a really serious emergency, you will be more likely to successfully toss this line if you just unhang it and throw it. Theoretically. And then the other thing that I learned over the years is that you never leave as much tail as you actually need. So go ahead and leave a fair amount of extra line at the end as you're hanging it for the crowning. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a nice little trick here. If you've done it this way and you've laid it out like this, you can turn your hand over like this. You can put a wrap around and grab it with your pinky. And then you just rotate it and grab it on the other side. You'll see people with these 200-foot lines going like this. And this won't really work with a 200-foot. In fact, what I'll do is I'll do 50 feet or 75 feet at a time. Look really slick and trick if while everybody else is trying to wrap their arms around this thing, you're just sitting here going like this. So let's go ahead and get this wrapped around like this. And then to go hang them up, there's a couple of things you can do with these. You're always going to want to start by putting a bite through your coil like this. And then if you're just going to be like dropping it on the deck of the boat or whatever like that, you can actually bring this all the way around the top and tighten it down. That's called crowning it. If you're going to hang it up, you don't need to go all the way. You just put the tail through, and now we hang up our lines.